the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Ms. Roulette? Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item will be the statement by the Board Vice President, Mr. Steve Majors.
As we begin this meeting, let us pause for a 60-second moment of silence to reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in any other silent activity. Thank you.
Next item will be the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Jerry Denton.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item will be discussion of the February 8th board meeting minutes. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ms. Hill, I'm going to need a step stool because my feet, this chair, and I'm not going to get any taller, so I'm going to need a
We
step
can
stool.
switch chairs if you want.
Yeah. Next item, my legs are going to be asleep. Next item, February 23rd, board meeting minutes. Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Denton?
Yep.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Abstain?
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Thank you. Item number 6 is comments from the Board of Education. Members of the board, I asked Dr. Vincent if she would put this, and Mr. Perry to put this on the board agenda so we could express our gratitude to our teachers and city, our students and families. We see it a lot in the news media across the country, maybe even in our state, where they're attacking teachers' unions and about going to school, not going to school, whatever the opinion is. You know, Broken Arrow Public Schools has been in school more than any school in our area, in person, thanks to Dr. Vincent, her team, the staff, and the teachers. And I just want to take this moment to thank our BAEA, our teachers union, and all their efforts and hard work, and to assure our teachers to be in school. I want to thank our teachers for all their hard work. Hopefully we're getting to the downhill side, and custodians and all the staff and everyone in Broken Arrow to help provide a safe place for our teachers and our kids to come every day. And also want to thank our community for believing in us and bearing with us, bearing with the school district when you all had to make the tough decision to go distance learning. And but the ultimate goal is to have as much in-person school as possible. But I felt it was important during this age and time of politics and blaming and all this to just thank those people. And we are a community, Broken Arrow. We're in this together. 3 of us up here graduated Broken Arrow. We love this place, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure it's the best place to have an education, have women's wrestling, and everything else. And I felt it was important to thank the teachers union, the teachers, the community, and everyone involved in the staff of Broken Arrow. And I appreciate everything you've done during this time.
Mr. Allen, thanks for putting that on the agenda, because, you know, it's tough because words really don't express enough the gratitude, the hard work, or everything that goes on within our district to be able to, provide, the kids back here and all these young folks back here a great education, and just all the extracurricular stuff that takes place as well too. And, especially in times like this when we're trying to either do virtual, trying to do in person, and, we're in, I say uncharted waters, but we've gone past some of the roughness and we're coming out of it, and we see a lot of traction. And again, I am grateful to see us leading the way, because seriously, I look at some of the other districts, some of the large and small, that are still struggling with a lot of things that are involved in the environment that we're in right now. And it is truly because of the people that work for Broken Arrow Public Schools. And everyone that works makes this happen, whether it's, as Mr. Allen said, facilities or transportation. We have crossed every department, and they've overcome obstacles that are just incredible these past year and a half. And so, again, I'm prideful of every day being able to say that, I'm part of Broken Arrow Public Schools. I'm a Tiger, and, it's just cool because, seriously, you look at the faces back here and it gives you, that's why we do this, and why we make certain that we're trying to get us past this COVID business and get back to norm, whatever that new norm is. So thank you.
And I'm just going to add on to it. I'm just extremely grateful for what everybody has done in this district, and with the teachers being on the front lines and continuously having to max ourselves out. And we know that, and I'm just extremely appreciative of what you guys have had to go through to make sure that our kids are safe, that you're safe, and just know that we're committed. And I can speak for myself that I'm committed 100% to continue to do what it takes to make you feel safe and comfortable, and to continue to do what you do successfully. And we just can't thank you enough, because without you guys out there doing what you do, we wouldn't be able to have these kids in the school continuously day in and day out. And it goes, I've been through the district through this whole time talking with all variations of employees, and from the bus drivers to the food staff and to the janitorial. They're just continue to move forward, and they don't dwell on it, and they move forward, and they're being successful. We're getting through it, and we're doing it. It's not perfect. We didn't expect it to be perfect. We didn't even know what it was going to be, but we're doing it. And it's to the point now that we're seeing some little bit of light ahead, and hopefully soon we're going to get over a big hump and we'll be able to get back to some normalcy. But we really want to know that we're extremely thankful for what you guys have done.
Yeah, I just want to say I second everything they've said. They can't say, I can't say it any better than they did. Appreciate all your work, all your effort, and hopefully we'll get through this.
And as imperfect as it may be at times, I know the vision and goals of the board, we'll get there. Virtually, we will get there, and it will get better. I know that the board has a high bar set, and that we're going to get that virtual learning lined out. We're going to be the beacon in Oklahoma and the Midwest. So don't give up, and we appreciate everyone. Next item, number 7, Mr. Dunn.
Good evening, President Allen, members of the board. I just happen to be the next person on the agenda after that display of gratitude, and I'll probably speak for everybody in here when we say thanks to you guys as well. Our teachers and our principals and directors in different departments have really been empowered through all of this to make those decisions that we believe are best for kids, and that's because of you guys. And so we appreciate y'all as well, and the leadership that you've had as a board helping us navigate through all this. So I think everyone here would probably say the same thing. I just happen to be the next one up here. So thank you guys. A few more thank yous as we introduce Coach Jasperson and let her introduce her staff and obviously our athletes. But our parents in the back, families in the back, you're the next group that we need to thank as well for believing in this vision, for giving your kids the opportunity to be a part of something special, for your constant encouragement and support of the program and of your kiddos. Being here tonight speaks volumes as well. So Parents, thank you for handing them over to us and giving us a chance to hopefully have a positive impact on your kids. To our leadership team, the vision that was placed out there a couple of years ago. It seems like we were just in here introducing Coach Jasperson as the head coach. So just 2 short years later, here we are. But just a lot of gratitude to go around about a very special event that happened just a couple of weeks ago. And I'll let Coach Jasperson share that as well. But to our athletes, the most important group I want to thank you guys for your daily commitment. I've been down in that room quite a bit. I've been at a lot of your events. President Allen just talked about the high bar, that high standard of excellence. And we share that same standard. And winning is important, but it's not because of these trophies. It's not because of those medals. You'll probably lose those medals one of these days, probably sooner than later. Who knows how much dust this thing's going to collect, but winning is important because of what it takes to win. It takes a lot of hard work and teamwork and commitment. It takes a lot of grit and toughness and teamwork. I mean, it's all those things come together. That's when special things happen, like a state championship, and that's what'll stay with you forever. But nothing's more important than the relationships that you young ladies have forged together as a team. So thank you to the athletes for believing in your coach, for believing in the process and showing up every single day and leaving it on the mat. So help me welcome Coach Jasperson, Cassidy Jasperson, our head girls wrestling coach.
Hi there. I have a little bit of a squeakier voice than Mr. Dunn. He has a nice, low manly voice. I'm Cassidy. We had the first girls wrestling state championship in Oklahoma history a couple weeks ago. We went ahead and took the title. The girls wrestled amazing. This is a brand new program, 2nd year, but first official year sanctioned. And I wrestled in Texas in a pretty established high school program, wrestled in college in a pretty established college program, and I can easily say that the support that we've gotten here is unmatched by any of those at any level. And you guys started from the very top. It wasn't waiting for parents or athletes to come begging. I mean, 2 people on our school board were the ones that pushed to have this happen. It wasn't me, it wasn't my assistant coach, it wasn't parents, athletes, and that's what matters, is that the people that are sitting right here care about it. They're not waiting for people to come to them. So that is not lost on us. We really appreciate that. You guys really pioneered this. It's not us. You guys, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing this. So thank you so much. Amazing girls. We have a couple of incredibly amazing seasoned girls. Miss Allison Hines and Miss Olivia Brown. Come on down real quick. I'm going to call you guys. Don't worry. You're not out of the woods. Olivia Brown is currently ranked number 2 in the nation. She's a senior. Allison Hines is ranked 10 in the nation. Both of them. Oh, is she 8 now? Well, good. Let's make sure we say that loud. Both of these girls have already committed to colleges. We have another senior who is a 2nd-year wrestler who has a few colleges to pick from. That would not happen without you guys providing them this opportunity. We have a lot of first-year wrestlers that are going to get college scholarships very, very soon. And that's because of you guys. And these girls would not have this opportunity if it wasn't for you. If it wasn't for our awesome superintendents, athletic directors that make girls wrestling a priority when it is not a priority in most places. And that's why we're not just going to be the best in the state, but we want to consistently be the best in the nation. And we don't want to sit on this win. We have even bigger and better things ahead, and thank you guys for believing in the vision and granting me and my amazing assistant, Coach Harris, the opportunity to work with these girls and be part of this and just serve these girls, because it's the dream, truly. They're amazing girls, and I want to introduce our whole state lineup right here. So we have, of course, Miss Olivia Brown, Allison Hines. Over here we have Kaylee Heightgrass. Right here, Kaylee is a 2nd-year wrestler, and she qualified for state. Absolute little fireballs, and she's a sophomore, so a few years ahead for her. Airlise Callahan, again, heavy coach. She's also a sophomore, 2nd-year wrestler, so these girls have a lot of years ahead of them. Tiara Reven, this girl I'm excited about. 1st-year state qualifier. This girl is going places. She just goes for it. No fear with this one. I'm very excited about her. Miss Kaisha Cathy, who's our state champion, one of the many. Kaisha still has one more year. She's a junior, so we're really excited for her to lead the team next year. Who am I missing? Are there everyone? Skylar. Skylar Walker. You guys are all scattered. Skylar Walker is another senior. She's looking to compete in college right now, so we're really excited. Second-year wrestler, and she has her pick of a few colleges she's really excited about. So that's incredible to me. That's really unheard of in any other sport. You guys allowing the girls to get out, get to these tournaments where they're getting seen. Other schools are not doing this, and other girls are not getting these opportunities. So thank you so much. Thank you, parents. We have a lot of new parents that we told them right after state, hey, in a couple weeks we're going to go to a national qualifier, and they were like, okay. I was a little worried. Like they might think we're crazy, but that's how wrestling is, and they've completely gotten on board. We have an amazing community, and we are just so excited for where we're going to go. This is not the end by any means. And I do want to give an awesome shout out to Coach Gerald Harris. He's new with us this year, but he has absolutely been such a blessing to our program. He certainly mellows me out, and our team would not be the same without him. Thank you guys for working hard to get us a quality assistant coach. You guys are consistently looking for quality and making sure that we're treated equally as the boys, and we're always getting the most opportunities. So thank you so much. It is not us. It is you guys that started this, and we're going to make you proud.
Coach, did Coach Harris do anything with his team this year or anything like that?
It's on the trophy.
Did he do it?
Yeah, and I will say, when he won his junior high state title, his Coach of the Year award was way bigger than mine. So we've been fighting about that.
So
I think they gave it based on size.
So the high school team won the first ever girls high school state tournament, and the junior high team, Coach Harris's team, won the first ever junior high girls state title. So you got 2 state championship teams and 2 state championship coaches right there.
Thank you guys so much.
And let's not forget, both of them got Coach of the Year. Coach Harris got Coach of the
Yeah,
Year
we'll keep competing about
for
it.
junior high, and Coach Cassidy
Yes.
got Coach of the Year for.
And Coach
Wrestling.
Cockrell, he has been such a servant with our program, comes in almost every day working with the girls, and our season literally would not have been the same without him. He's a mentor to me. He's like a father to me, has helped guide this program and give me some wisdom as a younger coach. So we're just so lucky. I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, we live the dream.
Dr. Vincent, apologize, she's not here. She had sinus surgery, I believe, and she's stuck at home. But she wants you all to know that you all are the pioneers. It's not done just by having a vision. It's done by the effort and hard work that the coaches and you young ladies put in, and you guys are the pioneers. And no one will ever forget who the first state championship team was.
Amen.
In girls high school wrestling. 50, 100 years down the road, it's you all sitting right here are the ones that did it. So congratulations.
Thank you guys so much for your support.
John, get up there. Get up there. I'm not going to do it because they might get some bad mask comments or something if I get up there.
It's okay.
Someone has a chance to become the first ever 3-time state champion, don't they? Next year? Yeah. Come on, let's get up there. First ever. I know I don't ever want to be in a dark alley with Miss Brown here. She will win whatever.
Everybody take one step now. Perfect. Squeeze in on the end. Okay, that's good. All right, here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Get on 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
So, yeah. They're gonna all remember the first picture with the mask on.
Yeah.
I know, that's the thing, I hate
I,
those
I,
pictures.
I'll tell you a funny story. We were sitting in subcommittee meeting, and everyone talks about boards and crazy ideas and all this, and Mr. Coughlin and I were talking about it and said, "Hey, Dr. Vincent, what do you think about a girls wrestling team?" I'm all for it. She didn't even bat an eye. So kudos to her for listening to Mr. Coughlin and I's crazy idea and allowing those young ladies to have a great, successful program and opportunity. I mean, got a lot of them going to go to college, and I bet you'll see as a result of what those coaches and that program's doing, we'll probably have more college signings per program, per capita, than probably any program on campus, just because of the level they're going to be at and the exposure they're going to get. So it's exciting. It is so exciting, and I'm just happy for your parents, Coach Hines, every one of you. I'm just so happy for you, and just glad we were able to be a small part of it. So best of luck.
And let's not forget about Coach Dunn or Steve Dunn and Chuck
Yes.
Perry for being in there
Yeah.
getting after it.
Yeah.
I was with Dunn on a lot of phone calls trying to hunt for the right candidate to come in here and do what they did, and man,
Good story all around.
It's
you couldn't have got any better.
No.
Awesome stuff.
Okay, next item, comments from the public. There are none. Next item, consent agenda 9, will be items 10 through 38.
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes,
No voting button.
right there.
There they are.
Next item, Ms. Bergwall.
Good evening, President Allen, members of the board. Tonight I bring before you the teacher furniture for our Oliver Middle School renovation. I'd like to purchase all new furniture for our teachers, so desks, setup, filing cabinets, etc., for all of the classrooms at Oliver, not just for the addition. And we will utilize our building fund money to do that. And with your vote tonight, I'd like your approval to do that.
Discussion or questions?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, next item, Mr. Tolomeo.
Good evening. I'm here to seek your approval to accept the bids for the lawn maintenance. Last month, we asked you to reject those, but after reviewing them and getting some more time to look over them, last month we had said that that was an increase of about 36%. After reviewing everything, we actually only had an increase of about 17%. We added 3 sites, Kirkland, Rosewood, and all of Vanguard, and Vanguard is going to be one of our biggest land masses that we have to mow. So that was an additional increase of cost to us. And then we are not going to accept the aerating and overseeding, the spring mulch, and the curb and gutter sweeping. And that got our price down to a more manageable amount of $478,780. For $478,780.
So that's just for mowing?
That's for mowing. We actually have a whole list of services. It's for
Oh,
mowing.
you don't gotta go through all of that.
We just decreased some of the scope and services that we're going to be getting in order to allow us to
Okay.
better financially handle it.
Mr. Tolomeo, what are you going to do with those items that you cut out? Are you guys going to do those yourself, or what are you going to do on that? Or just not do them?
After talking to our Verta Vista, they said that we probably maintain our flower beds a little too frequently. So they said to go to a bi-year or tri-year basis instead of once a year. So we're going to start rotating through our flower beds, not this year, but next year. So we'll divide our sites either in half or in thirds. We also have unit costs for everything. So say, let's just take Rosewood because it's the newest. Say it just gets, all the mulch gets blown out of the fat flower beds and we have to redo all the mulch. We have a unit cost to handle that on a per site basis. Same with overseeding. We had never done it before. We're actually going to try something differently. We were only aerating and overseeding 3 sites, Oliver, Country Lane Intermediate, and Linwood. And it was just to try to loosen up the dirt and not make it so compact. Unfortunately, we don't get to do that this year. We do have an aerator, so we are going to try to just aerate some of those ourselves. And then sweeping curb and gutters. We're on a more regular, frequent seal coating with our parking lots. And with that, they come through and sweep everything, and then they seal coat it. So it's not so important for us to do it so frequently.
So everything's still gonna look good though, right? I mean, we spent a lot of money on this.
Everything,
These places.
yeah,
And
everything will
I've
still.
actually got a lot of comments about how well it's looked, the last few years. So.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
So,
We do
I
take.
hope we're not cutting it off. What I'm saying.
No, we're not cutting everything. We're just cutting a few things.
Okay.
Some of them we had done in previous years, in our budget deficit years already. So it shouldn't be any less of a service. We were just trying to
Sure.
better
Okay.
our situation.
Yep. Use your money more wisely.
Well, I'm glad y'all were able to kind of bring that down, bring it to a place where we could still get a lot of the main services and everything else done. So I know it took a lot of work to kind of evaluate that. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Any discussion, questions?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second, please call the roll.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell,
Yes.
Mr. Majors.
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes, next item, Mr. Chitty. What a heck of a night. We get to see you. Man.
I know, it's been a bit, huh? It's been, what, 365 days since I've been here, so, and I'm here for the same reason, so it's been super exciting. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I'll just say that it just really shows, like, if you say a direct effect of a board on our students. It's like, I mean, you see it, those, like us being here, we can tie those things together. But that is such a direct connection to something that we'd have because of the creativity and the buy-in that you guys have for our success and what we are is huge. So that's amazing. So thank you guys again for everybody in this room because we all feel the same. So President Allen and the board, tonight I have to bring to you the purchase of our devices for our new 7th grade class. I know I brought to you guys before our sustainability plan, but just in review, we buy at 7th grade. We have a 6-year expectancy of the device usage, and that Google will update the devices for 6 years, so it's perfect. We expect them to last that long. We buy an overage to support the growth or shifting of enrollments and ones that disappear or they go to somewhere else, and we try our best to get them back. But we put a little bit of fluff in there. It's actually 100 devices that we put in there to last them the 6 years. And then at that point, those devices are offloaded, or if they're still able to be used, we push them down into 6th grade. So it's our sustainability plan. So this is just our yearly purchase. Last year we came to you to purchase 2 sets of those to get to this plan. So we're benefiting from that decision at this point by just being able to buy one and having really good devices for our students 6 through 12. So I'm bringing you today to approve the purchase of 1,600 Chromebooks for a total of $483,200.
Questions or discussion?
Nope. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second, please call the roll.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes, thank you. Next item, Ms. Enoff.
Good evening, President Allen, members of the board. I'd like to start off with some really good news that we received last week. And unfortunately, Dr. Vincent isn't here tonight to be able to help share this message, but she's so humble, she probably wouldn't take any of the credit for it anyway, so I'm going to get to do a little bragging on her behalf. Last week, we were notified from Superintendent Hoffmeister that Broken Arrow would be receiving an additional $4.3 million in federal stimulus aid. This comes directly from the the $49 million that the State Department set aside from the second ESSER funds. Districts who received less than $550 were awarded these additional funds, and so that accounted to about 88 districts. From the beginning of the conversation with stimulus dollars and all of that, Dr. Vinson has worked tirelessly on our behalf to advocate not only for Broken Arrow, but for all of the districts that were underfunded with these federal dollars. So we are extremely grateful to Superintendent Hoffmeister for these additional funds. Words cannot really express how these funds will help stabilize our budget going forward. It's really the first relief we have seen in about a year since this has started. We have been through many years of budget cuts, but this year in particularly seemed very bleak for us because of the dramatic cut that we sustained at our midterm allocation of $7 million. So these funds will definitely help stabilize our budget picture going into school year 22, because we don't know at this point what type of budget the state legislature will approve in a couple months. We've heard, that it'll be flat, but is that flat at $200 less per kid than we have received in the past, or what exactly does that mean? And so these funds will definitely help us to have a comfortable cushion, if you will, to not have to dip into that ending fund balance that we've worked so hard to maintain, and to give us some time to determine our path going forward. And again, Dr. Vinson advocated tirelessly, not only on behalf of Broken Arrow, but on behalf of all the districts that were underfunded through that formula of the distribution of dollars. Just as a reminder, those dollars were distributed based on Title I funding.
That's a remarkable surprise. I tell you, that was such great news to be able to hear that, because that was such a huge concern going into, the rest of the year or into next year, and just really seeing the impact that, that amount of money that now comes in, over 50%, at least being funded a little bit with, not having to really kind of dip into some of the, I know we'll still have to be diligent about that, which, you always are. But to be able to have that to occur is really remarkable outcome for what she was able to help facilitate. So glad to hear you call her out. And so thanks to Dr. Vinson.
Definitely. And it's just relieved so much pressure on the district as a whole to not have to make any reactionary decisions based on what we were facing going forward. The $7 million and then potential for additional cuts was very devastating, and unfortunately for a lot of the smaller districts, they didn't have the luxury to just kind of sit back and wait and see what happened. They had to take immediate action, and these dollars are just so critical to getting back to some semblance of normalcy for our curriculum and instruction department that's worked tirelessly to keep us in school. And so we just couldn't be more grateful to Superintendent Hoffmeister for deciding to advocate for all Oklahoma children and use her set-aside funds for this purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just, kudos to Dr. Vinson for doing what she did, and that's a reflection of having a strong leadership at this district, along with the administration, to be able to handle this type of situation on top of what's going on with the COVID crisis, and just to continue to move forward. And it directly benefits our kids by bringing that money back and be able to compensate a little bit for the budget cuts that we're having to have. And so, again, it's just part of that appreciation that we just really want to get out to the district as a whole, what's going on. It's taken everybody to get through this, and the constantly push for more and more to get things done so we can take care of our kids here.
So you can see, just looking at that graph, the disparity between state aid as we've continued through the months on this, and that state aid gap continues to get a little bigger each month because they have started to reduce payments. But the good news is in that federal source of revenue, you'll start to see that grow as we start to claim that money and get it back to the district. And the goal is to find ways and to get the money spent as quickly as possible. So we are sending the message that we're not sitting on these dollars. These dollars are urgently needed to continue to sustain our operations. Building fund, just kind of a quick note with ad valorem. We're seeing a little bit of a timing delay just with COVID and some of the tax dollars coming in, but we still expect to finish out strong in this category of revenue, which is so important to our building fund, which runs on a very minimal budget for the type of expenses we have going out of it. We do have some payroll going out of building fund, but the majority of our maintenance and plant operations budgets are funded from this fund, and so we do expect all ad valorem dollars to be received by the end of March, which is the deadline for current tax collections. And child nutrition, we have also received positive news that child nutrition will be receiving additional funds to help close the gap of their revenue. You can really see in that local source of revenue, they're down $2 million from where they were this time last year. They've done an amazing job being able to sustain operations and continue to be self-funded, but it's not been easy for them to continue to serve all of our students under this type of financial stress. So we are definitely grateful for the additional relief for child nutrition. And our general fund expenditures, salaries and benefits are pretty much consistent with where they were at this time last year. We have not been adding any new positions. Again, it's been more about just sustaining what we can do to keep the doors open and keep everyone employed and on the payroll. You can see some of, when you look at child nutrition's expenses, they have gone down considerably in the amount of consumable supplies, food, that type of thing that they're purchasing, because they're just being really careful and mindful of every dollar that's spent because of the situation with their revenue. So we are very hopeful that they can, with this additional funding, start back to their normal operations. And just as a reminder, we're getting ready to start closing out the year and start curtailing spending, so we can hopefully start narrowing our focus on our cash ending fund balances and where we will be at the end of June.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Next item, number 43.
Next item is to ask the board to approve our temporary appropriations application. This is to set the legal budget with the county so we can begin operations July 1.
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell? Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, 44, new business. We have none. 45 to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Cockrell?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
That is such a cool story. Man, that girl's worked hard though. Then if she come in at that weight and then drop to that. I train her all the time. She looks like she's stout. So that's cool. I know. Don't mouth off them. I know.